Chicago Bulls defeat the Boston Celtics in Boston in Game 1 of the playoffs, 106-102 to take a 1-0 lead in the first round of the NBA playoffs. This is Celtics Roundtable on the Boston Celtics newsfeed. Matt Ignall here alongside my brother Jonathan, and we are joined by Zaire. Emotional couple of days for the Celtics after Isaiah Thomas's sister, China, was tragically killed in a car crash on Saturday. Isaiah played well actually, but the Celtics did not really have the juice on Sunday night, confirming our fears of getting outworked and out-hustled on the boards, losing that battle 53-37.
It was a couple guys. Obviously it's the rebounding, but specifically Amir Johnson looked real flat. Jay Crowder, in my eyes, looked flat. And the bench gave him nothing. And when those things don't happen, and Robin Lopez is on the other side, and a supercharged Bobby Portis, you're going to have some trouble. Amir Johnson's been really consistent all year, and that except for his slow start. But it was a little discouraging to see him come out so flat to the point where he really affected a lot of the other Celtics body language, specifically Avery Bradley and Isaiah Thomas. They were upset with him multiple occasions throughout the whole game. And, if the Celtics want to win this series, they're going to have to control the boards or at least compete on the boards, and they did not do that.
Talking about Amir, he got an unusual amount of shots tonight. He shot 8 times. It's only like a handful of times where he shot the ball 8 times during the regular season. The issue, in my opinion, is something I always say, is that the shooting sucked outside of Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford. You look at the team's combined shooting outside of those two, the key guys, Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart, Kelly, Amir, and Jay Crowder, they combined for 18 of 50. And what did we say is that it doesn't matter what Isaiah Thomas does. If the other guys aren't performing, the Celtics are going to struggle.
Still, the Celtics shot better than the Bulls. They hit 14 threes to the Bulls 8. I mean, yeah, we could look at this and say, okay, well, shooting variability doomed the Celtics, but the Bulls missed a lot of good looks. I mean, they missed like their first 8 3-pointers. I know they came back and hit like 5 of their last 8, including 4 in the fourth quarter. But to me, this was just lost on the rebounding battle and on the bench too. I mean, the Bulls bench just lit up the Celtics for 35 points on 26 shots, and the Celtics couldn't really get anything going. The rebounding battle's got to be close. I mean, the games that the Bulls played the Celtics this year, the games that the Bulls won, they killed the Celtics on the boards, and the games that the Celtics won, they kept it close. So, I think it is discouraging that in Game 1 of the playoffs, obviously the most important game of the season, it's the first, postseason game. They did this against Cleveland too. They just kind of got out-hustled and outworked. I think the Bulls looked like they wanted it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think there's some reason for optimism too. Just looking up and down this Bulls team, it was Jimmy Butler and Bobby Portis. Dwayne Wade did not look like the Dwayne Wade in the postseason last year.
Right.
Mirotic went 1 for 9. You look down that bench. I mean, I know Bobby Portis and Paul Zipser outscored the Celtics bench. But, I mean, Bobby Portis isn't going to go 8 for 10 and 3 for 4 with a plus 12 in his 29 minutes, probably any other game in the series. So there's definitely some room for optimism. And you got to remember that the Celtics did not have their usual pregame routine. There were some circumstances, obviously, that had the Celtics in an unusual environment and situation.
Just to add, I going back to the shooting again, this team shot 43%. During the regular season, they shot 45%, over 45%. You make 5 more shots, you shoot 48%. And you win the basketball game.
If you make those 5 shots.
So this is what the Celtics are. They are a team that does not rebound well. When they do, they win, but they typically don't. But what they do is they value possessions, which they turned over the ball a lot today. And they also, when they make shots, it's like hard to beat them. And no matter what their shortcomings are, the offense is so well put together that when they are efficient, they overcome the shortcomings. And that the offense, to me, outside of Isaiah and Al Horford, really wasn't consistently efficient all game long.
See, I mean, I look at this, Levy and I have talked about this, like what wins games, shooting variability or hustling and playing hard. And to me, just the way the Bulls own the interior today, just the rim protection was excellent, I thought.
Yes.
Credit the Bulls. They did a really good job, not only just, beating up the Celtics on the offensive glass, but stopping the Celtics from getting easy looks. And, shots are going to go in, shots might not go in. I mean, I don't think the Celtics necessarily got bad shots in this game. If they just kept the rebounding battle a little bit closer. I mean, that's what Brad Stevens is saying in the post game here, and Jay Crowder too reiterated it, that this series is going to be won for the Celtics on the glass.
Does that give you guys much reason for optimism? I mean, this
was the worst. This is the worst Celtics rebounding rate of the year. The Bulls, I think, had at some point during the game they had a 55% offensive rebounding rate. I think that was midway through the third quarter, and the Celtics finally clamped down in the fourth on the glass. But this was one of the Celtics' worst rebounding games. Period. I would expect that the Celtics are going to have a better rebounding effort for every game in the rest of the series. No?
Yeah, keep it close. But see, what my point is is that both things happened tonight. They were out hustled, they got out rebounded, they got out defended, but they also didn't make shots to the rate that they needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how close this game is. It's a 4-point loss right here.
People look at the rebounding and the shooting, but the Bulls controlled the pace, and the Celtics were lucky to break 100. I mean,
yes,
I'm a little surprised the Celtics kept it this close. I mean, let's say not every game Mirotić is going to go 1 for 9. Dwayne Wade 4 for 12. Rondo 6 for 15. That's actually pretty good for Rajon Rondo. But Jerry and Grant 2 for 9. Like, the Celtics were lucky to only lose by 4.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it both ways, but that's why you got to control the things that you can't control, and that's winning the 50-50 balls, and that's just kind of playing harder than the other team. And I don't think the Celtics really did that.
Well, can we talk about Al Horford? Because I'm a little torn on how I'm feeling about his performance today. Like, obviously, his stats are great. Triple doubles are great. But at the same time, a big man's got to do his job.
He had 19, 7, and 8.
Yeah, no, he flirting with the triple double is great. But at the same time, a big man has to do his job. I mean, they're big men. All this finesse play is great. It really is. Like, Al Horford had maybe the best offensive showing he's had as a Celtic, but Lopez and Portis bullied the Celtics big down low, and Al is not without blame for this.
I think Al Horford did his share of rebounding today, and it was early on. I saw him grabbing boards, and it's like it can't just be all on him. Let's talk about this. Avery Bradley didn't show up on the boards like he normally does. And here's another stat. Avery Bradley, when he grabs less than 6 rebounds, which hasn't been a lot this year, he's normally grabbed more than 6 rebounds, right? When he grabs less than 6 rebounds, the Celtics are 6-9. When he grabs more than 6 rebounds, they're 28-12. Amir Johnson did not look as effective as he normally looks. Other guy, Kelly Olynyk. If we're going to talk about a big, that's the big to talk about that's disappointing right now. So I can't really complain about Al Horford. Yeah, he could have been more dominant, but the guy affects the game in so many ways on a positive level. And he shot 61%, which is what we've been begging for all year long.
Yeah, I just think it's too easy to pick on Horford because, yeah, he is a below-average rebounder for the position, but it's on all of the Celtics to go get a rebound. That's sort of how they've been able to do it all year. Everybody kind of crashing the glass. And you look up and down these rebounding numbers, and it's just no one was really too impressive on the glass. They showed fight at times, but the rebounding allowed the Bulls to stick around early, and then obviously they kind of went off in the fourth quarter. All right, the playoffs are here, and if you want to get tickets to Celtics playoff games, be sure to download the SeatGeek ticketing app, which is the easiest way to buy and sell tickets to Celtics games. With just 2 taps, using SeatGeek's seamless mobile experience, in mere seconds you can buy and sell tickets. And it doesn't end with the Celtics or any other NBA game. SeatGeek also has plenty of concert, comedy, and theater tickets available too, and it's all fully guaranteed. Listeners to CLNS Radio can support this production and get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. Here's how. Download the free SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab and click add a promo code, and then you enter the promo code CELTSNEWS, all one word, and SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. Download the free SeatGeek app and enter the promo code CELTSNEWS today. The Bulls trapped Isaiah a little bit more than we expected them to. Isaiah, by the way, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention him. He had 33 points on just 18 shots, 13 points in the first quarter, and the Bulls just made a decision, hey, we're going to get the ball out of Isaiah Thomas's hands, and the Bulls usually play like a very conservative defense, and IT got the ball to Horford, and Horford did really good things with it.
Okay, so I really didn't feel that the Celtics would necessarily lose this game because the game was going very typical. Isaiah's balling, then Isaiah leaves, nobody can hit a shot. Then, tight third quarter, and then, okay, let's go, fourth quarter. And they make this run in the third quarter. I'm thinking, like, okay, we're good now. And fourth quarter came, and it was like, okay, what's happening here? Well, you know what's happening here. The heroics that happened in the fourth quarter didn't quite happen today. That bail us out from the misery that we go through. And once again, looking at Jay Crowder, I mean, like, this guy shot 4 for 12. He went through the whole first half. He didn't score a point. Another thing about this game today, Isaiah Thomas is the only guy who went to the free throw line in the first half.
There was a little bit of careless play, too. Two plays that come to my mind in the fourth. Celtics had an opportunity at a defensive rebound. Marcus, I think, bobbled the catch. The ball went out of bounds. It led to a Jimmy Butler
came off
three.
hard off the rim.
Yep, it led to an open Jimmy Butler three. And then very crucial point down the stretch. Marcus, I believe, gets a rebound. A steal, and decided to throw it to Jay Crowder, who was running up the court not looking. That turned into 2 points for the Bulls and really took the wind out of the Celtics' sails.
Well,
and
he caught it
earlier in the
midair.
game,
He caught it midair and threw it to Jay all in one motion, and Jay just wasn't looking.
Right. And, I mean, that was happening the whole game. Avery Bradley had a couple plays where it went off him when he should have grabbed the ball. Amir Johnson couldn't catch the rock. The basketball gods were not in the Celtics' favor today.
Well, Jimmy Butler was great. He scored 15 points in that fourth quarter after a quiet first half when he was just kind of seeing a lot of bodies. But they were running like a lot of screens for him, like more than usual, just to get him a little more open. And he was drilling those jumpers. But yeah, 15 points in the fourth quarter. That's pretty incredible. 23 in that second half. He was awesome down there. They had Avery Bradley on him, and it looked kind of like the Bulls were just kind of running actions with him and Jerry and Grant. Just to try and get like Isaiah Thomas involved on the defensive end. So it makes sense that they slotted Avery Bradley on Butler, who had to fight through those screens to stay on him. He might have been the best guy at that, but still, Butler torched the Celtics in that fourth quarter.
Butler definitely hit some big shots, but again, some more reason for optimism. I really like the job that Crowder. Actually, maybe not Crowder.
Well, no,
more
he had that
specifically,
blow by
Marcus.
on Crowder.
No. Scratch that. Not Crowder. I don't think Crowder Crowder didn't look like himself tonight. I was really impressed with Avery's on-ball defense as well as Marcus's, so I like that moving forward, those two guys. Obviously, I think Crowder, you look at the statistics and the head-to-heads, Jimmy Butler really struggles against Jay Crowder, but I like the multiple options and the multiple ways the Celtics can defend him. You can get an on-ball harasser in Avery Bradley. You can get a guy who's strong and will take a charge and will also rip the ball out of your hands in Marcus. And then you've got Jay Crowder, who rarely makes mistakes.
And we thought it was going to be Marcus.
Thought it was going to be a cast of characters, and that's what happened. But in the clutch, they went Avery because he was the hottest.
He's a little small. I don't know. I mean, he's really good at fighting through those screens, but so is Marcus Smart. And I guess I just prefer Smart in those situations. He drew the charge. He caused a Butler miss late.
Avery's small, but you can't put the ball on the floor in front of that guy. Avery. I mean, you try to face Avery up. He has such active hands.
And he just rose up.
Yeah, but he's not. Jimmy Butler's not. He went 3 for 5, and the fourth quarter was lights out. I mean, he's a very, very great player. I don't think he's an elite jump shooter, though.
From the mid-range,
absolutely not.
No, but he was.
And he had a bunch of threes too.
Right, he had 3
today,
threes.
yeah. But I think he got off in that fourth quarter and he went clutch on us. But I think overall, like if you look at the whole game, Jimmy Butler was not setting the world on fire the whole game. And that's when I was sitting there in the middle of the third quarter, I was sitting there looking like, okay, they're doing a good job defending. They're just doing a bad job finishing plays. And that's the rebounding part of it that you got to get the rebound and go down on the other end. If Bobby Portis plays like Bobby Portis normally plays, the Celtics win this basketball game. And they win it by 6 or 7 points.
The Celtics defense was like designed like he would be like the finishing like plays, like they would run like 2 actions or something and then swing it back to Portis, and this the Celtic would be like recovering after him, but he had an open shot a little bit too much. I wonder if they should pay a little bit more attention to him since he's just killed the Celtics. I think he just got too many easy looks, especially after he started getting hot.
In only 4 minutes, I feel like Jerebko gave a couple of those to him. Jerebko, I was, we were talking about if Brad's going to shrink the rotation. Yeah. The only man he cut out was Terry.
Well, he's been out.
Good
so
decision.
He really cut
Great
anybody.
decision.
All right, that'll wrap it up here. The Celtics take on the Bulls next on 8 o'clock on Tuesday in Boston. We're probably going to hear a lot of hot takes right now, but it's just one game. The Celtics are hopefully going to play better. We're going to talk a little bit more in tomorrow's pod about some changes the Celtics are going to make or how we feel about the rest of the series outlook. All that and more on the next podcast. Give us a follow on Twitter at CLNS Roundtable. Subscribe to the Boston Celtics newsfeed, rate and review. We really appreciate that. So for Zaire, my brother Jonathan, I'm Ed Ignall. We'll see you tomorrow.